When it comes to semiconductors, Intel's name and their brand is pretty synonymous with that, thanks to their long history of making server chips, desktop, and laptop chips. But when you start thinking about AI CPUs in particular, you tend to think of Nvidia, and even recently, AMD has also jumped into that space. So that leaves Intel on the outside until now, that is. Intel has finally dipped their toe in that market with the launch of their Core Ultra CPUs. These are formerly the Meteor Lake chips that we've been hearing about, but they've been renamed, rebranded, called the Core Ultra chips. Let's take a look at this article here. Intel unveils Core Ultra, its first chips with the NPUs or neural processor units for AI work. This is an article out of Engadget.com. So we're going to dive into this and give you all the details about the chip. But before we do that, if you are new to this channel and enjoy this type of content, please do me a huge favor. Consider hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell and drop a like as well. All right, let's dive into this article. Again, Intel unveils Core Ultra's first chips with NPUs for AI work. Intel today is entering the AI PC era with the launch of its new Core Ultra notebook chips, originally codenamed Meteor Lake. These are Intel's first processors to include an NPU for accelerating AI tasks. The launch comes a week after AMD unveiled its upcoming Ryzen 8040 hardware, its second batch of chips to include neural processor units. While Intel is playing a bit of AI catch-up, the Core Ultra chips still sound like a solid step forward, at least according to the company's benchmarks. Right? Intel claims the Core Ultra chips use up to 79% less power than AMD's last gen Ryzen 7840U while idling in Windows, and they're also up to 11% faster than AMD's hardware for multi-threaded tasks. So Intel didn't have the upcoming Ryzen 8040 chips to test, but it'll be interesting to see how they compare next year. Yeah, so again, these are our numbers compared to the last gen. It will be very interesting to see how those stack up to AMD chips, this one, the 8040s. I have a feeling that maybe they won't beat them or surpass them, but if they can just come close and be within that range, and I think that still is going to give AMD a little bit of competition. And again, that's going to force AMD obviously to continue to reinvent themselves, reinvent better chips, and who knows, depending on what the price point is of Intel's chips, there may be a better proposition for a valued performance to value cost as compared to AMD's. But we'll see once we have all that released information. Efficiency is a key component of the Core Ultra chips. They're built on the company's new Intel 4 7nm process, and they feature its full Foveros 3D packaging. So yeah, the Intel 4, which is their 7nm process. So I remember earlier this year they ended up changing the naming process, and they kind of made everything more confusing than what it was before. So your Intel 4 is your 7nm process. It just doesn't make sense, but whatever. According to Intel, these are also the most efficient x86 processors for ultra-thin systems. They are refined P performance and E efficiency cores, as well as Intel's Arc graphics, which is up to twice as fast as last generation and also offer double the performance per watt. So yeah, we're talking about their GPU cards, the Arc graphics cards they've had on the market, I think, for the past 2 years or so, which is gives Intel another avenue, obviously, for them. But when you combine their chips with their graphics cards, they're going to be a very comparable combination for like budgeting or lower end laptops. You have actually a dedicated graphics card compared to an integrated one that they used to use. So that'll be pretty good for Intel jumping into those budget range laptops or even mid range. The Core Ultra family launches with the Ultra 7 165H at the high end, offering 16 cores, 22 threads, 6 P cores, 8 E cores, and 2 low power E cores at 5 gigahertz max turbo frequency. The beefier Ultra 9 185, which will arrive in the first quarter of 2024, will have 5.1 gigahertz of max turbo speed with a slightly faster GPU and higher power draws, 45 watts compared to Ultra's 28 watts. Of course, that's only natural. As usual, there's also a lower power U series of chips for the thinnest machines. While you won't find the Core Ultra chips in the most powerful gaming laptops. The addition of Intel's Arc graphics should make them slightly more viable for less demanding gaming, or at least more on par with AMD's 7000 series chips. Intel says the Ultra 7165H can play Baldur's Gate 3 twice as fast as Intel Core i7 1370p and 1080p with medium graphic settings, and it can handle Resident Evil Village 95% faster than older chips. So right there, you can see that it is a step up from the previous chip. So again, for somebody who wants a laptop that's not necessarily a gaming rig, but they want just to have a little bit of gaming, though, so these chips will still be, comparable for doing that. This paragraph here just talks about across the 18 games that they played, it was able to perform up to like what 5% faster than AMD's 7 series of 7840. So again, that's just a slight bump up compared. So judging by those numbers, I doubt that they will outperform the 8040 by AMD. So still for gaming, you still obviously want to go towards the AMD Ryzen 7 8040 chip if you want to go with that route for APIs for AI PC. Let's skip down here to where we talk about the AI stuff. As for AI workloads, Intel says Core Ultra chips can reach up to 34 teraops when combining performance across the NPU, GPU, and CPU. But the big change this time is the neural processor unit. It will enable features like Windows 11 Studio Effects, which can blur backgrounds and improve video lighting without hurting your battery life much. For creative AI workloads, Intel says the Ultra 7 165H is 70% faster than the Ryzen 7 7840 in Adobe Premiere and a whopping 5.4 times faster at running GIMP stable diffusion. So those are some pretty good numbers compared to last year's AMD chips. Again, they didn't have the 8040 to compare to, so once we get those benchmarks, it'd be really, I really want to come back and check and see how those numbers actually do compare with AMD. I have a feeling that the AMD chips will be slightly better, but that's just my guesstimation at this point. What's truly exciting about the Core Ultra hardware, as well as AMD's upcoming Ryzen 8040 series, is the potential for newer processor units to make our computing lives slightly easier. They can help eke out more battery life while editing audio and Audacity on the go, or give you a slightly sleeker background blur during Zoom calls. Both Intel and AMD also say that they're pushing developers to create more AI-enabled features in their apps. Basically, get used to the term AI PC. You'll be hearing quite a bit of that throughout the next year. Yeah, that is definitely true. I expect AI to be everywhere in the coming years. You have AI headphones being talked about coming. Samsung's talking about putting AI in there next, or the Galaxy S24. So get used to the term AI, which I'm sure a lot of you are. But AI is going to be infiltrating everything, and obviously in the PC space as well, more laptops. I just let you see this chart here. So this is just a chart of all the processors. I'm not going to go through it. You can just look at it here. It just breaks down the Core 7, and then for the efficiency, and then the Ultra, and then has the Core, the 9, the Core. Intel Core Ultra 9, the 185H. So there you go. Yeah, so finally, Intel is in the market of the AI PC, so that is going to give some competition to AMD. We'll see how this fares out over the next 2 to 3 years. Where will Intel be at when it compares to AMD? So basically, who is this for? Again, if you are somebody who wants a laptop that wants to do true high-end gaming, you want to play things on ultra high settings or in 4K, then the Intel Core processors will not be for you. You want to go to the AMD Ryzen chipset for that. But if you're somebody who wants a work PC, you're going to do a little bit of video editing, maybe some audio editing. You're going to be mainly doing a lot of presentations, Teams, as you talked about here, and you want a laptop where it can do some light gaming, then the Core 9 may be for you. If you want to just probably, I'm assuming if the chips will be a little bit cheaper than the AMD chip, so then you probably want to go that route. So there you have it. That is the breakdown on the Intel Core chips that they just launched today. Let me know what your thoughts are on Intel. Do they have a chance to compete with AMD in this space? Let me know. Also, are you interested in picking up these when they do come to the market? Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. Once again, thank you for taking time out to watch this video. If you enjoy this type of content, please do me a huge favor. Consider hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And chances are, if you enjoy this video, you may have friends or family that may like this, so share this with them as well. Also, if you want to stay up to date with the latest tech news, head over to soundsnerdy.com, where I curate and aggregate tech news from across the web covering Apple, Samsung, Google, Android, computing, and even more general tech news, all at the website soundsnerdy.com. And until next video, guys, stay nerdy.